Four.
What's going on, everybody? It's Daggy and Beaver with you for a midweek preview show. As we head towards Christmas, we decided we'll pick out some of these Friday night meetings, which are a bit more interesting than the stuff we get during the week at the moment. Beaver, how's life treating you?
Life's treating me quite well, mate. Moseying along, doing what we do, leading up into Christmas, mate. Getting a bit busy at the moment, but we fight on.
That's it. Let's see if we can find a few winners to pay for those presents. We're going to look at the Kenso meeting first. Randwick Kensington. Rail is in the 3 metre mark on a good track. So I've treated this as typical Kenso. You probably don't be too far from the pace early on, and maybe by the end of the night we'll be swooping down the middle. We kick off with a 1400 metre maiden for the 3-year-olds. Have you had enough of this favourite yet, Oriental Tycoon?
I certainly have had enough of it. I'm not falling into it again. I'm going to steer clear. It seems like it might be a bit of a perennial place getter, this one, and starting short price. I'm not willing to take those odds, and I'm going to go for the horse that's only had the one start and finished seconds from the Cummings stable, Straight Acer, number 2. Thought its debut was quite good. I think it'll get some natural improvement from that, and ran pretty close second behind an okay horse in Legio 10, so I think it can improve and be hardest to beat.
I agree with you. I liked its debut, and the trial before was good as well. Comes here, nice enough draw shoot to push forward-ish. Not a lot of on-paper speed here, so shouldn't be too far away, and agree with everything you said. I thought I was actually looking at as a danger at the debutant from the Quinn stable, Passionate Rebel, who trialled on pace well, inside gate, could well lead this field. I was taking the same opinion as you. I'm against his favourite, so I was looking that way. So for me, 2 from 6. The second is another fillies, 3-odd fillies this time, over the 1300 metres. Rolls keen on the chances of Morel in the Waikato colours. Nice enough debut. I think there's only 2 hopes, but the nice enough debut in August, where it hit the line really well, resuming straight away at 1300 off the back of a couple of nice trials. J-Max on, a lot to like there, perhaps a bit shorter than I thought it would have been. From Magic Carpet, all the forms there on the paper, group placed already. It'll win at a maiden at some point, but I thought they're the clear 2, and just going to go that way. How are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I thought the same. There's only 2 chances, but I'm going at the price Magic Carpet. I thought only had the one run last prep, and it wasn't a bad one, behind Buenos Noches, who has gone on and done some okay things. That was a heavy track. I think getting back here on the good track, that'll really suit Magic Carpet. I think that plays in its favour, and just at the $4 compared to the $2.30, I was going that way.
Race 3 is a benchmark 72 over the 1250 for the girls again. I don't really trust this favourite here, Beaver, but it does look its race, doesn't it?
It does look its race.
Yeah, I got on top, perhaps reluctantly, Comrade Rosa I speak of. I had the 2 dangers, the lightly race 2 down the bottom, Persistus and Kahawati, who both done some nice stuff this preparation. If there is going to be someone that knocks it off, one of those 2. Persistus is in at the midway on Saturday as well, so we'll wait and see where that turns up. But yeah, anything to add?
No, I had nothing to add here. I think this looks a clear on topper for me, is better than all of these horses, and it's 3rd up now, and last run was a good run. Looked like I was probably going to win there, so this is an ordinary lot.
The 4th is a 1250 benchmark 64. Who do you like?
Yeah, didn't really like this race much at all. I actually went for, if it starts in this one, Kahawati, around $13. It's also nominated in the race before that, but hopefully it starts in this. I think it's got a better chance in this. From the inside gate, the kilo claim, and I just thought at the $13 it could run well in what was a pretty open race.
I agree. I think, as I just mentioned, whichever race it turns up in, it's a live chance in. I've got Royal Merchant on top here, though. At the moment, there was a nice resumption on the track at Canterbury. Won well and fits into this race, which is barely a midweek race again, pretty well. Obviously, a watch on Sunshine in Paris, looks like it's been heavily backed actually since this morning. And so I assume we'll be starting here. Also in on Saturday as well. Did a nice debut at Canberra, but leaned towards the Canterbury win over the Canberra win there. The fifth is a benchmark 72, again over the 1250, where, look, I've ended up going back to Gundy Bridge here. It bolted in before it went out last time in, beat Sacramento, who's obviously we know has performed in town. Big gap in the trial, nice win there, and just looking now, Frumos, it has got a run with a couple of scratchings out, so gets control, should have everything in its favour. From Shadow Dever, who is flying and is the obvious danger. If the swooping has started by now, probably starts favourite and may well win, but I think this might be a talented horse, Beaver.
I thought the same. I think it might have a little bit of ability as well. It won well before it went out, and first trial they didn't do much, but Waterhouse tuned it up, and with a really comfortable trial last start was pretty impressive. If it brings that to the track, it could just get the comfortable lead and be too hard to catch.
The 6 is the 1800 metre race on the card, a benchmark 72 again, where I've found the Tim Clark on a leader from an outside gate. Travelling Kate's going to roll right across to the lead here. She'll get a pretty cosy time up there at around the $8 mark, and there may well be no chasers here. The more I went up and down this field, this is just going to be sitting there on the pace, and it's going to give you a great sight. I couldn't really get excited about anything else. The others have all been a little bit disappointed. I found a few of these recently, and they've all let me down, so going straight to the lead and going to hang on around the $8 mark. What are you doing here, Beaver?
I'm going for Rosova. Gets fourth up here again. A bit concerned that it's ran its three placings and may not want to win. But it has won 2 out of 7, so that may not be a fair comment there. I think it gets its best chance here. This preparation out to the 1800, I think it really suits. After having its couple of starts over the 1500, meets a beatable field here, 56 kilos. Is a nice weight, and drawn well in 4 can get all the favours. Hardest to beat for me.
Cool. Yeah, I get a bit icky when you see Hawkesbury next to it, but I don't disagree, actually.
Yeah, I don't mind so much when it's Cummings or Waller doing that. Some of the other ones, not so sure.
The 1400 metre benchmark 72 wraps us up. Nice deep field here. A few again are in on the Saturday. Anything you like?
Yeah, I like the favourite here, Baltic Coast. Its resumption was really good at Rosehill. Hit the line really hard there. A little bit further probably wins that, and it gets a little bit further here at Randwick Gate 8 and McDonald aboard. I think this race sets up really nice for it, and should be winning. Agree.
Yeah. On top for me. The Aramis is I think a talented horse. Won the what did we win last time? The Grafton Guineas, and won well at Gosford last time in, but trial I could have maybe seen more in the trial. May have a saver in that around the $11, but I think favourite's going to be very hard to beat there. Big price of 5 Crowns, the other one I'll mention there, but where it gets to, both of them drawn out, where it gets to exactly, not sure. But anyway, that's a whirlwind through Randwick. Beaver, you got a best in value for progretracing.com.au.
Yeah, my best bet comes up in race 3, number 3, Comrade Rosa. I think it'll be winning. And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 4, Rosova.
Beautiful. I'm going to make my best Gundy Bridge, race 5, number 11 for the Waterhouse Yard. And another on pace, so race 6, number 5, Travelling Kate will be my value around the $8 mark there. We've got the Shadow meeting at Moonee Valley tomorrow night. Good track again. Rail moves back into the true. We'll treat it as fair, but we know we get sometimes under lights at the Valley. Might well be leaderish, but we kick off with a 1200 metre maiden to start the day. What have you got for us here?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go with Flying Temptress. About to even money here, but I really liked the first up run. It was an eye catcher here at Moonee Valley, just off the pace. Just didn't get there in time. But yeah, I think it'll have derived a lot of benefit from that, and this sets up really nicely for it. So gate 4 should do fine.
Agree. On top for me. Has a track and distance set up here. Comes back 2 weeks later and looks good here. But look, I am scared of the other couple in the market. Thornycroft was a nice debut, and Rackerman's trialled well. But yeah, it looks a fairly comfortable way to start the day for me. The second is a 1,200 metre benchmark 64 for the fillies, where I liked the work of Corner Off last time out. I know it just missed, but was good first up, and I think you're keen on it second up, and ran okay without just getting there, but this sets up nicely for it. A slight drop in grade, I think runs well here from Entremont, who's a big price, coming back from Flemington Run, and is $15. They're the two I'll focus in on the race. And only one I'll mention is Unlimited Magic. It was a very nice debut, actually, drawn out for Blake McDougall. Could be a good night for him, but 2 from 1 for me, Beaver.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Corner Off as well. No reason to hop off now. Won its first up run at Pakenham in fine fashion, and then wasn't disgraced. Last start at Sandown was sort of in good running, got pushed back a bit, and then didn't get beat by much there. I think this sets up nicely. Gates 8 is fine, and I think it can run well. I think the first couple of favourites on the card can get us a bank for what looks to be some trickier, more value later on.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to make 3 favourites in a row, though, when we get to the race 3, a benchmark 64 of the 2040. We get to this awkward-looking staying race, and we're getting Blake Shin going on what looks to be the leader of the race from gate 3, and I think he's going to run very well. It's done some good. It's been up since last Christmas, just about, but has been very honest in the form around. The likes of French Emperor and Parisian Dancer is good for this race. As I said, it's getting probably Victoria's best jockey at the moment, and not many chasers. The $2.30 is a great price. I'm with Pitcher None here.
Yeah, I think you get a little bit better than that, and I think you're right. I think the first 3 favourites on the card will get us a bank. I really liked this run last start. It had every right to drop out, but it sat up on the outside last start and just kept finding. It was impressive. I think it probably gets control here, and this is a weak field. This is a very weak field. You know, the third favourites for 2 runs from spells gone 0-0. So yeah, I think be surprised if it got beat, to be honest.
Beautiful. The fourth is the other staying race on the card, 2,500 metre benchmark 70. Does anything get you excited here?
Nothing gets me excited. This is a bit of a lottery. You can go for your life here and pick anything. I did narrow it down to 2 if I was having a bet. I thought Pearl Rain was going pretty good. It's got some decent form against some horses that have been fairly consistent and going well. And Paddy Payne, we know who'll have that fit and ready. And so winning form's good form for races like this. Got it on one of my top picks with Winifred. Got Ollie aboard now, goes third up. Again, it's had a couple of runs against some okay horses, one being French Emperor, who's flying. Out to the 2,500 now should suit, and it could run a nice race as well.
Don't like the race. I've lost my top tip now, losing the top weight here. I wanted to find Pearl Rain. I've got a slight feeling it's a wet tracker, so that left me a bit nervous and didn't have a lot else I wanted to talk about here. So we'll move on to the 5th, which is a 9.55. Don't know if I'm any more excited about this one. Another tricky race. The only real opinion I had was if the best of Meteorite turns up, it'll blow this field away. Starting for a new stable. Trials were good. It was $10 when I did the form this morning. In a field and a typical 9.55 race, it's going to be very tricky to really want to stamp any. What about yourself?
Yeah, big weight, but it does get the claim, which does help. I went for Jungle Sensation. Just thought it was going well at the moment. It finished second at Moonee Valley behind Rattling Bang, and Rattling Bang come out and ran second behind a decent horse last start. I'm just trying to think in what race it was. It was in a pretty good race.
Yeah, it was in... It was down at Bendigo, wasn't it? It was one of the last 2.
Yeah, it was. And prior to that, ran second behind Duce, who goes well as well. So I think that's good enough form to run a really good race in this. So it's my on topper, and thought it was decent value, about the $6 mark.
Beautiful. The benchmark 70 is up next for the girls over the mile. Anything here?
Again, another pretty tricky race here. Bit of a trap race, but I went for Vasilia, the number 6 here. Been pretty consistent this time in. 3 starts back, won a nice race at Geelong. Sandown wasn't too bad behind Picaronis, only a few lengths off him, and then again ran a nice race at Moonee Valley here, so handles the track. Was heavy last start. I think it goes better on the better going. Hasn't been able to place things on good tracks. So Blake Shin aboard. I think it's got a lot of ticks in an open race.
Yeah, me too. Agree with everything you just said. I've got the danger as Bubbly Lass, who's coming back from the bracelet where it led them up there. Before that, did some good stuff in this grade. But yeah, I think there's the two main chances, and you can back them both here, Bubbly Lass and Versilia. The 7th is another benchmark 64, this time over the 1,500 metres. St Lawrence's both runs have been nice here. It's been saved from last week to come back here again. Drawn for a blending gate. Hopefully we're running on by now, but I think it can go 3 from 3 here on resumption from Arctica, who did some good stuff who was going well, went to town and ran quite well leading up Matron Bullwinkle. Gets Blake Shin an inside gate, so hard to really argue against its chances as well. What are your thoughts? And you're on mute.
I thought St Lawrence as well. I'm going to stick with that form. Winning form's good form for me. He's got the right trainer. Gate 11, hopefully can get in and doesn't get stuck wide and can get a decent enough run. I thought a knockout chance around the $12, $13 mark was done. Kiri resuming here.
Mm-hmm.
Had some good form. A couple of preps back. Ran second at Flemington behind the Cunning Fox, which is a decent horse. And then nothing went right for it at Sandown, put up with problems there. So I was put out for another spell. I think it could resume if it fit enough and run well, but maybe later in the prep. But yeah.
No, fair shout. Cool. And we're going to wrap the day up with a benchmark 74 over the 1,200. Anything to take you home in a tricky little sprint?
It is a tricky little sprint here. Tough race. I thought I narrowed it down to 2 horses here. I went for Grazinga Prince on top. I liked the way it resumed. It was a real eye catcher behind Hypothetical, who's got some ability here. It will get back and it will be swooping home, but I think if by then that favours the swoopers, it could be hard to beat. And I also thought Kurasha could run well as well. Being ultra consistent this time in decent enough company. Good run last start here at the Valley, so potentially it can run well again.
As long as we're swooping, I've got Kurasha on top. Agree, it just had no chance at all. We just got held up at a key stage, I should say, at the Valley last time out, and this sets up nicely for swoopers. So if that's how the track's playing, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to have a bit of a watch as well on Free Flying Star, who did some good stuff fresh last prep. Around a double figure mark. We'll see if there's any market support coming back for the Payne stable. But a nice little meeting at Moonee Valley to build a bank for Saturday. You got a best and a value?
I do. My best bet comes up in race 3, number 12, Pitcher None. I think it can be hardest to beat. And my value comes up in race 5, number 5, Jungle Sensation.
Beautiful. My best is Pitcher None as well. Race 3, number 12, and my value I've lost in it, so we'll make it race 8, number 12, Kurasha. Anything else around Australia? Have you had a chance to look at anything for the Friday?
Mate, I did have a look for Sunshine Coast. I gave one for Friday night, and my best bet only had one there. My best bet come up in race 5, number 3, Miss Tambo, up at the Sunshine Coast.
Beautiful. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon to look at Rose Hill, which I've had a look at. Plenty of Melbourne form has arrived in Sydney this weekend, which is interesting for us to talk about tomorrow. And we've got Pakenham to discuss as well, which I'm about to get stuck into. Good job, Beaver. Good luck tomorrow night, punters. And we'll be back, as I said, tomorrow to look at Saturday. Take care.